Okay, I'm back. You know why? Because I was not going to allow conservative voices to stop being heard. Um, After what they did to Charlie Kirk today, I think it's time that we all express ourselves, make sure that we express ourselves. And that means that even though I'm tired of cutting video clips, I'm back. And it's going to be called Let's Talk News. And we're going to do this once a day, probably at 8 p.m. But I could see that nobody is here. um, Not sure, I guess, because I decided to do this at last minute. Oh, okay, somebody's here. Um, and where is it? Whoever you are, show yourself because we need to talk about what's going on with Charlie Kirk. We need to talk about how today's events will affect the future of our nation. You know, this was a man who believed in his heart in America and in the Constitution and the Second Amendment. And it was those beliefs that led him to talk to young people on college campuses all around the country to discuss with them and to challenge them to think outside of the box, outside of what their professors were telling them. And, he put himself at risk and he knew he put himself at risk. Um, Howard, how are you, Howard? It is a very, very sad day, Howard. It's a very sad day. And just talking about how Charlie knew what he was getting into. Charlie knew that he was putting himself at risk. Um, he knew that there were people out there that would want to silence him, but he continued to do what he was meant to do and that what he was called to do, which was to challenge young people, to make them think, to tell them it's not uncool to be a conservative if that's what you feel in your heart, and also to educate them in science and truth. I mean, when you look at his videos, so many of them had so many misconceptions. Just take abortion. That fetuses are somehow not babies. That it's just mind-boggling, mind-boggling. But you know what I want to know from you? I want you to tell me what you think happened there. Who did it? I was totally shocked when I heard. Yeah, me too. Who did it? Who do you think did it? I mean, they caught an older man in his 60s who said he's going to exercise his right to remain silent, and but he wasn't the shooter. They're holding him on obstruction of justice, but he wasn't the shooter. The shooter was used a rifle, long gun, and he was apparently on the roof. Ricka Soros, you're right. You got to be right. This is bigger than Charlie Kirk. This is bigger than even America. This is about those people, those global elitists who want to keep us unstable, who want to silence us, who only want one opinion to matter, and who want to terrify us um, from speaking out against institutions that their money has so perfectly corrupted. The problem is the maniacs on the left are incapable of rational and logical thought. They have the brain capacity of a rabbit bait a fish. Well, and that's what Kirk, right? That was what Kirk was trying to do. Kirk was trying to stop that groupthink. He was trying to stop that ridiculous chatter and educate these young people to the point that he made a difference in this last election. And look at how many young people came over and voted conservative this year. Good evening, Kevin Young. Good evening. So good to have you. Thanks for joining me on such short notice and on this terrible, terrible day. Um, I just, Soros, the elite, the global elite. This is what they want. When they don't like what we have to say, they kill us. They talk about us being quote unquote Nazis. When was the last time you saw a conservative out there trying to silence somebody, trying to controlling the news media, all of it, to manipulate them into disavowing science? I mean, remember trust the science? That all went out the window, didn't it, when it came to transgender? And I bring up transgender for a reason, because here's the thing. I don't know if you all know it, but Kirk, he was throwing out hats. He was getting the audience all riled. He was, getting everybody happy. And the question that he got just before that freaking rifle ripped out his throat, and that's exactly what it did. It ripped out his throat, and it was obvious that he couldn't survive that shot. The question that he was asked was about transgender mass shooters, and they wanted to talk about that. And then we shot. So, but the man who the cops went after was not the shooter. But I believe that man distracted the police so that the shooter could get away. And they say that the shooter was on the roof. I have a little clip from the news conference that I'll show. The shooter was on the roof, and it was about 200 yards away. And they won't confirm many things, but the news conference was suddenly cut short when somebody asked about the question about transgender shooters. Let's say the left don't think they're brainwashed into being Star Trek Borg. Well, you're right. But and Charlie Kirk was our answer to having that stopped. But they stopped Charlie Kirk, so he couldn't do that. Is that the price that we pay? Will the left do and stop at nothing to get control of the White House, the Congress? I mean, is this what we've come to? And if it is what we've come to, then you better all hold on to your guns, because everybody got out today and spoke. And interestingly, nobody talked about the fact that guns are the problem. Well, interestingly, I guess because they know Charlie Kirk's point of view on that. They are threatened by the progress we're making on campuses. Absolutely. That's the only thing that could have been driving this, right? Is that they saw that the young people voted for Trump, voted for conservative, identified conservative, and so that's they had to stop it. Was shocked that someone so young was snuffed out. Rest in peace. But interestingly, he had a really full life. He started out when he was 18, and he gave so many young people an alternative to just trudging, being a Borg, as Howard rightly called them. It's sad that he leaves behind 2 little children. That breaks my heart. But we all have heard him speak. We all kind of know him, right, a little bit. Do you agree with me when I say that he died doing what he wanted to do? That if he had to, if this was if he had to stop talking or face death, that he would have chosen to go this way? I mean, people make the ultimate sacrifice every day. Cops, military. I mean, they face these dangers every single day, and they have families, and they have 2 small children, 3 small children, 6 and 7 small children, but they go into harm's way every day for the greater good. And I think that Charlie Kirk did the same. Dems, liberals, leftists yell about gun control, but they're the ones killing everyone. Isn't it interesting? But I wonder, is it them? I think here's my take, and I don't know any more than you do. I don't have any insight, anything. Nobody's talked to me. It's just through observation. I think we're going to find that the shooter was transgender. I think that it was a setup right? That question was a setup, and that was, that was the mark. And that's what we want to put out to the world, because we've had now, what, 9 transgender mass shootings mass shootings by transgenders. So I think that they want to keep that up. I think that everybody was paid handsomely to do what they did. And I think that at the end of the day, Angela's absolutely right. We're going to be able to track and trace this down to Soros and others. Yeah. And then the left don't want cops. Their prosecutors want to be social justice warriors and not put criminals in prison. Well, that's what they say, right? That's what they say. And right now we have Mamdani talking about that in New York. We have, we saw what happened in Maryland. That poor woman, I mean, getting stabbed to death and nobody did anything. This is what the globalists want, right? This is what the Soroses want. They want us so anesthetized to death and crime that we're willing to say, oh, Trump is doing too much by having all those military in DC. We'd rather have murders. Okay, what's a few murders? Better than having military taking away our rights, right? That's what they're hoping for. They're hoping for people playing on their phones instead of doing anything, because when Daniel Penny did do something, look at what it cost him. He almost went to jail. But it cost him millions. Well, I don't know if it was millions, but hundreds of thousands of dollars to defend himself. He had some help, but look at the torture. Look what they did to the J6ers. Look what they did to Donald Trump's the people working for Donald Trump, cleaners and drivers, and they threw them in jail over the witch hunt that they did for the documents, right? The supposed classified documents that he had in his house. This is what they want. They want you to be too terrified to speak against what's going on in mainstream media. And they want you to be too terrified to step up and protect anybody, use your guns and use force to stop them. And they want you to be too lulled into complacency so that we don't pick up arms, because if Americans picked up their arms and fought united against an entity, we would have the largest army in the world, right? Well, not true. I mean, maybe China, but we have more guns and ammunition in America than most countries have, and that's owned by private citizens. So that's why they were trying to take our guns away. So Charlie did the right thing to face the challenges against the left. Yes, he did. Ramon, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us to have this conversation. I think they arrested the shooter. They didn't. They arrested that guy who, in my opinion, was a distraction. And they're holding him as a matter of fact, I'll play the clip. I don't know. I forgot. I did this really, really fast. So let's see what I have here. I forgot. It's a 2-minute clip. Watch.
Police chief here at UVU, and I'll tell you right now, we are devastated. We're a small police department. We have a very large campus. We have over 40,000 students, and we love our students. We love our visitors, and we're devastated by what happened today. This is the police chief's nightmare. I'm very saddened for the Kirk family. I know his wife and parents found out about this. Obviously he's away from home. He's here in Utah. They find out by a police officer that visits their home. That's tragic. Nobody wants that. But I can tell you about our venue today. This was an open venue. This was outside. We did have 6 officers working that event. We had probably over 3,000 people that were in attendance. It sat down in kind of a bowl area here on the central campus. We have a waterfall area, and so he was kind of in a lower area, surrounded by buildings. We had some plainclothes police officers that were in the crowd as well. We train for these things, and you think you have things covered, and these things, unfortunately, they happen. You try to get your bases covered, and unfortunately today we didn't. And because of that, we had this tragic incident. So we did have officers there. We had Charlie Kirk's team. He has a security team that travels with him, and they were here with him when he was shot. Was the gun covered? I'm sorry, see? Was the weapon recovered? At this point, I can't disclose that.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, there was a question being asked about mass shooting. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
Say the question again. I don't know if I understand what you're saying.
When Charlie Kirk was shot, he was answering a question about mass shootings specifically. Was that person apprehended, and do you know who asked that question?
I do not. We do not have that at this moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have time for just one more question, so thank you.
Yeah, a question for the chief as well.
So that was what I was referring to. I am sorry if it was hard to hear. I really did this quickly. So she asked, when Charlie Kirk was shot, he was answering a question about transgender mass shooting. Did the police pick up the person who asked that question? And you saw the police officer becoming confused, but you saw the PR guy step in to, move him along. So either they did pick up the guy that asked the question, or they need to go back and review the tape and find out who that was. Here's my thought process. I don't think that Donald Trump will leave any stone unturned. The shooter, the conspiracy, the whole cabal is going to be revealed to us. I am sure of it. Democrats need to be held accountable for transgender shooting people. Well, as you know, certainly the lunatic left needs to be held accountable, and we need to trace this, because it's a very interesting thing. These new transgender kids, these kids that I like to call the whole situation useful idiots. They are armed and dangerous. As a matter of fact, if you look on Reddit and you look on some of those subs platforms, you're going to see that these kids are what the older ones do, what the groomers do is say to them, they're going to kill you, so you better arm yourself to kill them first. And so they're impressing on these kids to commit violence. It's really scary. I just tuned in. My heart is broken. I can't imagine what his family is going through. Lou, I think that his family feels like he died a hero. I know she must be out of her mind. I know his parents must be out of their minds. I know that the president is out, his heartbroken, and Vance and just everybody who knew Charlie Kirk seems to me are beside themselves. But at the end of the day, when they catch their breath and they think about it, I'm convinced that every single one of them are going to say he died a hero, and that might lessen the blow a little bit. My question is, who's going to take his place? Is it going to be Riley Gaines? She was out on those campuses with him. So will it be Riley? There is another now in custody. Well, that's good. They were questioning somebody, and they said that they were questioning. It was a long press conference. They said that they were questioning. They had somebody of interest. So I just don't like the fact that they didn't get the person who asked the question, because it was clear it was a setup. They asked if they had the gun. They stalled on that, so I'm going to guess they do have the gun. They're testing it for DNA. But I have a real feeling that the person who shot that gun is not in police custody at this moment. We must stand united and never lose hope. That's correct. And we must continue to talk. We have to speak out. I'm socially libertarian. If an adult wants to be trans, do what makes you happy, as long as you don't infringe on other people's rights. The left have no boundaries. That's why they indoctrinate children. Agreed. I agree with that statement, Howard. I'm much like you. I have everybody. We're in America. Everybody should be exactly who you are, and you should have the freedom to be who you are. And that's both sides, right? I mean, I think that if you're a Muslim, you're a Muslim. If you're trans, you're trans. If you're gay, you're gay. If you're, whatever you are, that's what you are. The problem is that the lunatic left does not want that. The globalists do not want that. They don't want people to live in peace and harmony. They want you to conform to them, no matter how preposterous what they're selling is. And it's kind of the dog whistle for them, right? Queers for Palestine. That's a dog whistle. They want to see how crazy the messaging can be, and how many people will follow the crazy messaging. That there's 72 genders, and you can what is it? New Jersey now has a thing where you have to declare your child's sexuality, or you can declare your child's sexuality before it's born. What? But these are the crazy things these are like the tests. If we can sell this, then we know we got them. And that's what's happening. If we can sell Mamdani, then we can sell socialism in America. And, the polls are showing that the support for capitalism is going down big time. So we're in for it. First Judge Scalise, then Judge Kavanaugh, then President Trump twice, now Charlie Kirk. All of these are threat to the left-wing agenda and ideology. They are a threat, all of them. This was a hit job professional sniper. He's either gone or they will kill him. It will be a risk to keep him alive. Deep state shit. Wait, where's my fucking bell? Nostradamus said the yellow man will inherit the earth or will rule the earth. And we're well on our way to that if we don't fucking get our act in gear here. Now I think he was released. Yeah, that was the first one. That was the guy, the old man who, but they charged him with the obstruction of justice. They let him go. I don't know how they can't keep him for at least 24 hours. Leftists are domestic terrorists. Yeah, this irrational behavior where we are thinking what did CNN say? I can't remember. I should have clipped it. The whole reason that I stopped doing the other show was because of the clips. It was just too much all day, especially with me fact checking. It took forever. So that's why we're going to limit it to once a day, big story of the day, and we're going to all talk about it. But CNN spoke about the killer, the guy that killed the Ukrainian woman, and they said that the right is going to use that as our dog whistle all of a sudden. But they didn't talk about why they didn't report it for a month, right? Crazy. They should be in a mental institution. Enough is enough. I'm sick of the trans community. Well, they're using them. They're using them. Remember, at first it was black and white, and then the blacks came over and went, wait a minute, Trump's not racist. Wait a minute. White people don't hate me. Only the crazy, crazy, crazy militant people are still separating by nationalities and skin color. But for the most part, Americans are not buying into that. So because they couldn't buy into that, now they're trying the sexual shit. Now they're trying the trans shit. They're preying on weak-minded people. They think somehow that's going to be their army. I just don't understand how. But the army, instead of an army with ammunition and guns, I think they want an army of voters and people that they can manipulate and control. It was a major influence to young people. That was the last straw for the agenda indoctrinating our young people. He had to go. God bless Charlie Kirk, and his memory will never, ever die. We have to keep strong and not back down ever. That's true. And I'm hoping that now more people will be searching for his YouTube videos because, they were widely seen before, but maybe now we'll see some senior people watching those videos, because what we're seeing is the ones that are being really taken advantage of seem to be our senior community. A lot of these, Palestine protesters and transgender protesters are like 80-year-old, 70-year-old women and men. So either they needed the money from Soros or, they're easy prey. I think Trump needs to give these Democrat mayors and governors an ultimatum. Fix the crime in your city or the National Guard will. Sign a Charlie Kirk executive order to stop the crime. That's a great idea. But I think that was Charlie Kirk thing it was purely It was a hit job. Okay. Fear is the weapon the left uses to force others to submission, but also emboldens the left to copycat. Indeed. Indeed. And that's what the professor always says, right? Is that fear. Are you going back to doing a show, or is this a once in a blue moon deal? I'm going to do it 8 o'clock every night. God help me. And we're going to talk about what happened that day. So that's how does 8 o'clock work for you guys? I mean, I could do it later at 9. But yeah, I know like the real television is on then. So our Democrats, they are terrorists also. It's not all Democrats. I mean, Kev, I get you. It's the leftist. I mean, we have some sane Democrats out there, right? We have some crazy Republicans too. But look at Fetterman. Of all the people I never thought I would ever hold up would be Fetterman. Never thought that. But look at him. He's sane and he's rational. He says a lot of things. They killed Charlie Kirk a day before 9/11. Yeah. And they made a martyr of him. This is nothing new. JFK, Martin Luther King, etc. It's a blood sport. You're certainly right. Hello, George Turner. Yeah, this one does hurt, and it hurts a lot. It hurts because he was the guy that was speaking to the youth. I hope Riley Gaines steps in. I hope she has the courage to step in. The Leticia Remauro one-woman show. Yeah, well, it's going to be called Let's Talk News. And I'm not one woman. It's me and all you guys. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to solve the world's problem. Maybe that's what we should call it, right? Solving the world's problems. Let's solve the problems of the world with Leticia Remauro and crew. Hello, Willie Chu. Okay, what are you guys doing? Are you all together having wine? I'm sure you are. I always thought of Fetterman as Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo Nest after lobotomy. Yeah, that's true. I love you and miss you, Willie. I miss you all. Give kisses to your beautiful wife, to Robin. I just love you. I miss those days, and I'm just sick that I can't be there with you anymore. Maybe you guys will come to South Carolina. God knows so many people have. Here's what I was thinking. Do you remember the movie Conspiracy Theory with with Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts? If you didn't see it, you should watch it. Because I don't know why. I just think something's going on. Something's going on, and we're at the precipice of learning what has been going on with our government all this time. And I think Trump is the guy with the key to tell us what's going on. And I think that's why they want him dead. I think that's why they want everybody in his team gone. They can't make him out to be a madman anymore because people have eyes and ears. So I don't know. I think I may be moving to South Carolina in the next 6 months. Well, Howard, my phone number is in my bio. Give me a call. I'm happy to hook you up. I have some great realtors. I live in a little town called Murrells Inlet. It's right south of Myrtle Beach. There are so many beautiful towns around here. I could tell you that instantly moving here, my husband and I save $7,000 a month. Is a really big lifestyle change. I wake up every morning and I am excited at where I live. I live in the freest state in the nation. I live in the state that was the first to fire the shot in the Revolutionary War. I live in a state that knows what happened, knows its blemishes and pays homage to it, so that the mistakes of slavery will never happen again. I live in a state where culture and history matters, and where they're very, very welcome, so long as you don't bring the shit that you were running away from here with you. So I have to tell you, I've loved it for 30 years. Now I'm in love with it. I am so happy that I made this move. I'm so sorry I couldn't stay there to help, but it was clear that there is no help. Um, because if New York City votes Mondani, I just don't know. And this whole Curtis Cuomo thing, it doesn't look like either one of them are getting out. And if they don't get out, they're splitting the vote. And now the Board of Elections, corrupt that they are, won't let what's his name, Westman, off the ballot. So they're going to keep everybody they can on the ballot, because the more people that are on the ballot, the less likely a candidate will be to beat Mamdani. So think about that. All right. So what do you think? 8 o'clock every night. We'll talk about the news of the day. We'll, discuss what's on your mind, and it'll be on, I don't think I'm going to do Rumble. It'll be on YouTube and Facebook. And that's it. Once in a while, maybe if Jennifer gets a tickle, she'll jump on with me. So I will, if anybody has anything else to say, hold on, wait. Oh, wait. I'm missing some things. All right, hold on. I know where Murals Inlet is. I'm dealing with Jerry Pincus Real Estate. Okay, that's good. I forget my guy's name. Drew is his name. Drew Albert, and I forget his real estate. He's really good. Seafood restaurant still in business down there. Oh, please. We are the seafood capital of South Carolina. It's fantastic. Curtis won't get out, and in my opinion, he's not running a smart campaign. I hate that you're right, Howard. I hate that I'm right. It's breaking my heart. It's breaking my heart. Angela Ricca, you got to come down too. Well, listen, my prayer would be that Cuomo says, you know what, this whole thing hovering over my head about killing, senior citizens is not going to get me elected. So you know what, I'm going to get out. I'm going to let Curtis try, because honestly, if two stay in, if more than one stays in, they're going to be blamed for destroying New York City and bringing socialism to it. So I wouldn't want to be the one. I wouldn't want to be the one blamed for that. But apparently they don't care. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, it was great seeing you. I told you I was going to do something. And so this is the something. And, I went from 1 day a week to 7. But the only day I'm not going to do it is Friday, because I have standing plans on Friday at 8. So we'll do it every other day. I love being with you, and I miss you all. And I'll see you later. The legacy will always live on. Cuomo doesn't care what anyone thinks about him. He won't get out either. Yeah, well, these are the people that, if you truly love New York, sometimes you have to do the selfless thing, and I know people are saying, oh, you're talking, you didn't get out. But I made a commitment to the Conservative Party. And I told them that I would not get off the line if they didn't want me to. And that was a condition for them to give me their support. They wanted me to stay on the line. They had their reasons. And so there you go. Anyway, Vito Fossella, a Republican, is in. I hope he's doing a good job. I see that he and Mary Pat had a grandchild, which is fantastic. There's nothing like that. And I hope he's doing a good job for all of you. I know he's capable because I've worked with him before. So, I mean, he's not an enemy. He was always able to do things. I didn't like the way he handled things, but, all's fair in politics, I guess. Okay, so we'll talk tomorrow. If you have anything else that you want to share about what you think with the Charlie Kirk stuff, please do. And please make sure to speak up. We have to show them that we will not be silenced. All right, I'll see you all tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Bye-bye.